we're going to go straight in. Awards. I feel like this is common sense and common knowledge, but I've run into a lot of people who don't really get the awards aspect, or at least parents. So this is something that you communicate with parents. Two types of awards. There's your Robot Performance Award, and then you have your Judged Awards. And so the Robot Performance Awards, you have your Teamwork Champion, that alliance that wins the tournament, and then your Robot Skills Champion. The two Teamwork Champions are state qualifying awards. There's, 16 teams, I think, after that. It's a state qualification.
Actually,
16, right?
Just so everybody knows, the event has less than 24. It's 16 and 23 during that Tuesday spots.
Right. Yeah.
And 24 or more will be the excellence spot.
Yeah, so if you have 124, excellence is also state qualifying. These all over there are judged awards based on your notebook, based on your research project, based on your interviews. The Excellence Award is the highest honor that you receive. It's basically just kind of like the umbrella over the entire event. The way I explained it to parents, actually I had one of my buddies text me after my team won the Excellence at Worlds. He's like, "How are you world champions if your team got 2nd and 6th in the world finals?" I said, "Well, won the Excellence." He's like, "What the heck does that even mean?" I said, "It's kind of like winning the whole track, right? Like your teamwork championship, that's like the 100-meter dash. That's the sexiest one, right? Then you have your shot put, which is your STEM research, I don't know. But the excellence is like the overall winning the entire. Is that a terrible analogy? Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. You have a question? I would say wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
We had one competition, and I had been prepping my kids, get ready for the interview questions, get ready for the interview questions, and then I think at the last 2 competitions, they didn't even have interviewers. So how does that work in?
So did they still award those awards?
They said that they awarded them based on engineering notebook.
As an event partner, I can speak to that.
Okay.
First off, at events, you have a lot of volunteers. It takes a lot of volunteers, and getting judges for volunteers is difficult. We're trying to have 6 judges, volunteers that are going to spend all day talking to kids is difficult. So maybe they only have 3 or 4 judges. For us, we prioritize the teams that turned in engineering notebooks, and then prioritized based on rough ranking of those notebooks, so what teams then to interview and talk. And then if they still have time, still get to the others. And it is also difficult sometimes to catch teams as far as they can come, no, they're not there, they come back, and so that happens too. Even when you really want to talk to them, you miss them type of thing. And they have papers sometimes that they leave and whatnot. But judging is a tough thing. And yeah, I love it when kids that get interviewed and have to talk. And I wish we had great ways to make sure that happens a lot. That the kids have to do that multiple times throughout a tournament. It's just great ways for the teams to talk to each other and ask each other about their things and stuff like that. But yeah, sometimes it happens.
Okay.
But I want to be clear on this. Did they not have judges at all, or did just some teams not get talked to? What was it you were saying?
Where we went, I had kids, they went up to judges and said, "Hey, is there a place where we go to get interviewed?" Because there's not a consistent one for each event. Okay. Sometimes they'll go to you, sometimes the kids have to go to the judge.
No, everything's in the pits. They cannot have separate rooms for judges to that. There's no interviews. They have to be interviewed in the pit. That is in the rules now. If you do it that way, then that's not. That's another thing. So we're all supposed to be doing the same thing. We can't pick and choose how we're going to talk to the teams. It's in the pits.
Okay.
And then if you're not offering judges, the judges award, then the teams without entering notebooks, there's no award for them to go to. So that's why hopefully they're offering judges too.
Yeah, then STEM award is obviously optional. However, there are still several tournaments that do offer it. And if you want a trophy and you're having trouble winning trophies, if you get that one done really early, make that a priority at the beginning of your season, you're likely going to get a trophy early on because not very many teams make that a priority, and so they don't really have anybody enter. I think we went to several tournaments that they were going to give a STEM award. They didn't give one because no one turned one in.
It's like basically completely separate from that. Like it has nothing to do with your robot pedals. It's like it's a research project. This is what my awards team focuses on. Every kid does it and helps out with it. like last year's topic was what, math? Is that right?
Like
So
playgrounds or superheroes.
What's that?
It was like creative playground or superhero.
Yeah, something like that. So you had to like, you had to do a bunch of research, contact sources and whatnot, create a 4-minute video, and you submit it, and it has nothing to do with your robot or driving.
We bring outside professionals.
Same one for each that you go through.
Yeah, so we didn't have, there wasn't a single event we went to that even offered this. But the reason we did it is because part of the Excellence Award, it's not part of the Excellence Award anymore, but the Excellence Award does, I guess, reward you
It's
for
not
doing
required.
well.
It's not required.
But we're like, hey, we want to do well in all facets of the competition, so we're going to do one and we'll submit it as stated.
So
They have not released this year's topic, by the way.
Yeah, not yet.
So, actually, this is probably more towards Randy. The STEM, so in years past, it was, go through, pull together kind of a board and kind of all that good stuff. Last year, it was changed over into a video. Any sense for what's going to happen this year?
It's gonna be, for STEM, it'll be just like last year.
Like last year, okay.
Qualified for state, you'll submit it. If you already have something set up or ahead of time, you can submit that.
But is it going to be kind of that video or?
It's video.
Okay.
It's just like last year.
That helps the event partners to not need as many volunteers at the event. They can sort of judge it in advance.
That took a lot of time to do the board and
And
presentation.
that had to be face-to-face.
Yes, yeah.
And we said that it's not released at the moment. Do we know about when the topic will be released for this year?
Oh, gosh. I'm thinking by August, because we had our event partner summit just a couple weeks ago. So they're spending this and that, probably by the time, I'd say by Labor Day, I think, because right now the league information is not up there yet either. But you remember, you go to Reliance Education, you know where to find it. It's coming.
These next several slides are just breaking down these awards. We won't spend a ton of time doing that because you're probably pretty familiar with what they are. But just for reference, I mean, you guys can come back to this PowerPoint whenever on shared drive, right? So if you ever need to reference this, all the information's here. Obviously, Teamwork Champion. I think that this part right here is the hardest part for a lot of coaches and parents beginning coaches and parents to understand that number 1 is paired with number 2, and number 3 is paired with number 4 to go into the finals. Like, they're like, why wouldn't 1 be with number 10? Like, that isn't, well, because that's like, that's not fair for the number 1 team to be paired, because you're working together. You gotta remember that. So, obviously the highest score in the finals, you get 1 match, wins the teamwork championship, qualified for state. Here's a great question right here. Can one team win multiple teamwork championships throughout the season? Like if you win in November and qualify for state in November, can you go to another competition in January and win that? The answer is
Yes. And you're not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it. I look for that. Because think about it, if every single event won a state spot, regardless, we only have 200 at state. We'll do 200 divided by 3. That's how many events we're going to have. That's it. No more. I look for those. We do more events.
yeah. Teams get a lot of, we talked about this earlier, teams get a lot of flack for competing. And my thing is, if we win in November, qualify for state, which is in March, what are we going to do for those 4 or 5 months? The competition is where a lot of
You do an invitation and you pick and choose who comes to it. No, seriously, then people look and they call our state, you want them?
Your first competition of your season is almost like your practice. I mean, that's why we're saying sign up for multiple events, because it's your first basketball game of the season. The kids aren't going to know what the heck they're doing. They figure it out after the second, third, fourth. So teams that you see going to multiple events, they're not trying to just collect trophies. Honestly, they're going there to get better. And it is very good to try to get an event in February right before March, because as you have seen, for those of you who've been doing this long enough, the robot design and strategy in the very beginning months changes dramatically towards the end of the season. And so you start learning tricks and like what is the best strategy to play, and you need to refine that by the time you get to February if you want to do well at state.
The best way to do that is to go to a competition, because we know that whatever you do in practice doesn't always translate to a competition, right? So you just got to test it out at a competition.
And you got to see what others are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep current on what everybody else is doing, so you know what you need to do.
And that's why skills is so important too. If you're you're constantly going to a competition, which you're Cold Springs at, Cold Spring wins every single one of them. Focus on skills, you're still going to get the state population if you do well there. Yeah.
I kind of have a question for Randy. We went to a competition last year, and it was the Leo Lions. So a lot of the times, the #1 driving team also gets the Excellence Award, so they double qualified. And you were actually there, and since they double qualified, you gave our skills team a bid for state for that because they double qualified in the same competition. So is that, if you aren't at that competition, how does that work?
Right now it's set up so that there will be 3 teams from each event.
Okay.
So if one of the teams wins excellence, it'll go to the top skills team that's not one of those 2 teams.
I didn't know if they had to like approach you and say, hey, we double qualified, or how all that works.
I do that on Sunday. I'm sorry, I go through every event and I literally check that.
Okay.
That's why you'll probably get the event on Sunday, the event on Sunday.
So we know, as the event partner, you guys.
Okay.
Nobody at the competition will know.
Now, now here, it's possible that one also qualified for state, and they did. I mean, they were invited.
But you only do it for the first person, like, at our competition that we hosted, both of my teams were already qualified, but both of my teams were the Alliance at the
It doesn't matter what they've done anywhere else, it's only from that event. So if the 2 teamwork teams have already qualified somewhere else, then it's still just 3 teams from that event.
Okay, moving on, excellence, the highest honor you can receive at a competition for a high-quality veteran bodies program. And there has to be 24 teams or more at the event for it to be state qualified. It encompasses everything, the teamwork ranking, the skills ranking, the design award ranking, and other judges' awards. And the judging committee will look at everything and narrow it down to just a few contenders, and then they'll consider all other parts of the team or that program, like is it well behaved? Are the coaches well behaved? Are the parents well behaved?
Is it student-centered team so that they see you carrying a robot?
What they do this year, there is no coaching from the audience, even by the coaches. Team can get team for that.
I don't do that, so I mean,
Wait a minute, can the kids coach?
No coaching from the audience. Anybody can DQ the team by coaching from the audience.
So,
most of the coaching
Not
comes
for
after
time,
match.
you can't work.
so I can coach the other team to get all them disqualified.
Actually, we find out what team you're with the other team.
Turn left, grab the hub, turn right. Okay. Blended events, we have a lot of blended events in Indiana. We'll give out elementary excellence and middle school excellence. Here's kind of you can look at this, we'll go through quick, just kind of how they choose the excellence. These are all different categories that they'll look at. And you can see team 202, 606, and 808. They show up in a lot of the categories, so they'll be considered. And then the judges will kind of get together and say, hey, does that team seem student-centered? Is it obvious through the interviews that the students built the robot? And then the judges will seek feedback from the referees and volunteers, which again is another reason, I mean, it's not the main reason, but it's another good reason why I have my kids, high five and shake hands and all that stuff, because they might actually talk to the referees and say, hey, what can you tell me about that? Oh, they high five us every time. They show their hand every single time. They're great kids. So that's something you want to
In the interview process, it is very helpful. If you've had several iterations or modifications in your robot, don't dismantle those parts if you can help it. The little stinger claws that we developed, we had like 6 different types of claws that we tried to get the hubs to go at an angle in order to drag them across to create less friction, so we could increase the speed of the robot, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we had all these different iterations of those types of claws that we just popped off and then built totally new ones and put them on, and they had those there in their little kit that they carry around, and so when they were interviewing, it's a lot easier for the judge if you pull this out. So we tried this and it didn't work, and this is why we were thinking this, and this is why we're going to do it, and then pull out the next one, and then we went on to this one. And just having those little prompts there It guides the kids thinking, and then obviously using key terms, friction, why were we increasing? We didn't have enough torque, so we needed more acceleration to get across the board because we couldn't get there and back twice. So why were they doing it? Just to use those key terms. And that's okay, coach them on that. All right, that's where your coaching should come in.
We took the flex spot with us to Worlds, had it in our pits next to our finished product, and that was part of the conversation that the kids had with the judges. We went from this type of drivetrain at the very beginning to this type of drivetrain at the very end, and then that way they're seeing, the different modifications, and it's just kind of visual keys for the kids so that they remember what to talk about as well. And the judges want to hear the problems that you encounter. They don't want to hear how everything was perfect and smooth and sailing the entire season. They want to hear about the problems that you had. So focus on the problems that you had. Yeah.
And you have a copy of an engineering notebook that's not turned in, so when they're being judged, they can show the judges, they can physically go through and show them.
Like just copies.
I can't get my kids to do one design notebook. They're not going to do two.
Made copies where
Yeah,
they can physically show them we modified because if you don't have enough pieces to fix up, show them this is where we changed it.
I try to have the judges bring, if they have the notebook type of thing, when they've already done the judging of the notebook, they bring it to the interview type of thing to give to the kids so they have it at the
Yeah, and so
if everyone would do it differently, but that's something I encourage is if the judges can, it's great for the kids to have their notebook, versus they're like, I don't remember that data because it's in my notebook because I always use my notebook to rely on it,
Again, that's where the practicing the interviews and having key terms and key phrases and things like that.
And my kids wanted it too because their programs were in the engineering notebook, and they're like, dang it, that's an engineering notebook, I need it right now. And so that was something we discussed last year.
At Worlds last year, the judges asked to see our computer, to look at the actual programs, which I love, because then the kids could really shine when you put them in front of you. What? That's true. That is true. But it was a good part of the interview. So there's two rubrics here that they use for the design award. This is an update's coming out for this as well, I guess. How much difference can it be?
0 to 5 points instead of.
Well, okay. Well, I was going to say this little tidbit right here. A lot of people miss. You get an automatic 3 points for a bound notebook. Automatic 3 points.
That's still true.
Still true. So make sure it's bound. Get 3 points for that. Make sure your notebook, if you want to learn the design, make sure your notebook is awesome, but you're also, the other part is making sure you're
You should not be able to take pages out and rip pages. They don't want to see even a ripped page out. They want that mistake in there. So little Jimmy's brother got a hold of it and colored in crayon, just leave it in there. They're going to know that it's no big deal.
The gentleman here works for Rolls-Royce, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's not even paying attention. Rolls-Royce engineer, right? Engineer notebook.
That's exactly what we used to do.
This one right here? Yep. Awesome. That's good. Okay. STEM research project, we talked about this already a little bit too. It's not required for the excellence, but it could help. That's why we did it. The goal that the kids set, we set a lot of goals at the beginning of the season. Some of them are performance-based. In this case, they wanted to win the excellence at state. That was one of the performance awards. And so part of that was creating a STEM research project. Even though it's not required for the excellence, it certainly makes you look good if you turn one in. It's not a state qualifying award, but if you do win it at state, you will go to Worlds because of that. Just make sure you have every kid involved, but my awards team was the one that basically headed it up. So they did a lot of research, they made phone calls and emails, and they wrote the script of what the kids were going to be saying, they filmed, they edited. This is all what the kids did. This is what the teacher's supposed to do, upload the video to YouTube and submit it to the coach or at the competition. I was not involved with that at all, and if you watch one of our videos, which we're not going to, there was a severe math mistake, as Adam pointed out, which I knew, but that made it even more obvious that kids did it. Definitely authentic. What's that?
Each one of your elementary
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Well, that's where I try to bring outside people in. So we have, we did like a hydro generator. So we had Johnson Mello come in. We just called them up and said, hey, we're going to build this hydro generator. Can you come in and talk to our kids about what that would take and how would you do that? Using a car alternator, which I just happen to have an extra one of. And he came in, he was really nice. He kind of explained to kids. We went down to the creek. He explained, some different aspects that they would have to consider. I wasn't even listening, to tell you the truth, but and so they came back and built the project. Just off of his guidance, basically.
Yeah, at State and Worlds, it's the same awards that they're going to be giving, but they also give these other judge awards: amaze, think, innovate, build, and create, based on how do you look at these? Create, robot with a creative engineering solution, buildable, sturdy, well-crafted robot, innovate, effective and efficient robot design. I mean, that's all basically the design award, but not. So that's where your notebook's important. That's where your interview's important as well. Last year, I created this thinking that this was going to be elementary, but I didn't realize it was middle school as well. 3 elementary divisions at state. Each division gave out all of those awards. And so if you look right here, these are the 3 separate elementary divisions. Each division gave out 22 awards. So there's 66 awards, and they're all world qualifying at state. Plus, there was 1 overall STEM research winner. Plus, the top 5 in skills also went to Worlds. So there were 72 teams advancing to Worlds, which is far and away more than any other state. And I think that number is derived basically from the number of teams in our state, right? So, you look at California being the next. I think they send like 32 teams or something like that to Worlds.
I think it's also based on competitiveness too, though.
Is it?
That is a factor. It's not a massive factor, but I think it's a small factor.
And how awesome we are. So, I think it has to do with our Hoosier hospitality.
We'll be spending more this year, I'm assuming, because we have more teams.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll grow. And they even actually expanded it twice because for Indiana last year. I think I started with 60, and then they expanded to 72, and that's why we increased the number.
With the middle school, it's over 100. I think it's close to 120.
That's great. That's awesome.
And it's really more than the top 5 skills. That's why we're stressing skills, because like both my teams double qualified, so I think there's more from just us.
Yeah, so this right here, what we mean by that, top 5 skills at the state competition, the top 5 win a trophy and advance to Worlds that way. Then, if you have a bunch of double qualifiers through these, then like one of my teams, they triple qualified. They won teamwork, they won the excellence, and they were like 2nd in skills or 4th, something like that in skills. Those are 3 spots right there that they just took up. So then they're going to look at the skills list, not necessarily the one from state, but just the overall skills. I mean, well, it's Worlds, including plus your skill groups. Right.
Yeah.
Then they'll take a bunch of teams from there. So that's why skills is really, really important.
That's the 5 skills is
Yes. Okay. And then at Worlds, to make it to Worlds last year, there were 5 divisions, 82 teams per division. It was 410 teams. Each division gave out all those awards we talked about, except for the skills champion and the excellence, which was designated for the final World Championships in Freedom Hall. The winning alliance in each division made it to the World Championship Finals, which was 6 alliances, 12 total teams. And then after the World Championship Finals, they award the 3 World Champion alliances, the top 3 World Skills Champions, and the overall World's Excellence Champion. So, that was really quick. I'm sorry. But yeah, I had a video here, and I'm not going to share it, but just because it's kind of a little bit braggy. But it was my kids winning the Excellence at Worlds, and the official video of them running up on stage. It's really cool because there's one kid who just like sprints as fast as he can. He's so excited. So if you want to check that out, that's on YouTube right now. That's on that link in the 15 to 14 mark of them being called up. So there you have it.
The only last thing I'll end on is everything he just mentioned. Everything
doesn't matter.
The rubrics, the details about the awards, all of it. You're right.
I'm gonna say it.
All of that's open source. It's free. You can just look on REC's website. So everything that the judge evaluates, all of the awards and criteria, like that's not a secret. You can look at that. You can see what the judges are, how they're on board as judges. You can read what they're evaluating, what they're looking for. So, and we send that out to new coaches, and I guess we can probably start saying that to you guys. It's like, here's what the judges look at. Here's what the referees are looking for, so that you guys have access to it.
Yeah, how do you know how to make your notebook if you don't know what the group being talks about? How do you know how to do well in an interview if you don't see that working?
Okay.
I have a notebook question. I know you only turn in one at the match, but do you, as a strategy, do you have each of your team members have their own? Because that's what we did last. I had each of them have their own. And then do you have the overarching team one, or you just have the one for the whole team?
Everything that my team does is in this notebook.
There's one
Yeah,
for the team.
so if Johnny is writing something, then Susie has to wait until she looks at this page. So, yeah. Any questions? Any other questions? Oh, yeah, sorry.